John Bones Jones, UFC 285. John Bones Jones, in my opinion, is the greatest UFC fighter of all time. He's my favorite UFC fighter of all time. In the midst of the drug scandals throughout his career and the scandals in general, always something in Vegas, John Jones, with a 3-year hiatus, came back and went from light heavyweight to heavyweight, stepped up his weight, and the championship belt was vacant because of Francis Ngannou leaving the UFC, potentially going to the PFL. We don't know what Francis is doing yet, right? So now that leaves the belt vacant. So the next fight right here was going to be the one to take that belt. Who's going to take the belt? Ciryl Gane, or John Jones? I immediately thought John Jones. You look at John Jones's weight, you know, I think he alluded to it. I remember him talking about it, where it's like potentially his worst weight, you know, or worst shape in his UFC career, especially aesthetically. But it doesn't mean that he's not going to whoop that ass. When it comes to MMA fighting, when it comes to takedowns, when it comes to submissions, you know, this guy is up there. And that's all that matters. The objective is to win the fight. It's not about knocking out. This is not boxing. It's not even about going full rounds. You know, it can be. Don't get me wrong with that. It can be, but it's really comes down to the mixed martial arts aspect, and the root of that, from what I remember and the studying that I've done in my school of, you know, I got a degree in the school of Joe Rogan. It's the mixed martial arts is the submission, and that's what he did right away, literally within a minute. Like the third fastest submission in the history of heavyweight ever. And he won within a minute. Made Ciryl Gane tap out. Looking like a bodybuilder, looking like Superman himself. He made him tap out within a minute. Phenomenal performance by John Jones. I loved it. Every part of it. Especially leading up to the fight. The anticipation, because it's John Jones. But then, leading up to the fight, you see the situation with the toe. It's like, okay, what's going on with the toe? The toe, taped up the toe. We thought the UFC was going to take the tape off completely. That would have messed up his game, less confident. He thought the same, he said in the post-fight interview. No. They said, no, you can take off the tape off your feet, but leave the toe one. We're not going to take that one off. And he didn't love the UFC tape. He said the UFC tape is not as strong as the tape that he usually uses. Now, the fight starts. Right away, a kick to the balls. Kick to the balls by Ciryl Gane to John Jones. So I'm like, okay, this is rough playing. Okay, damn. That might have hurt John Jones. Is he going to keep going right away? Like, take a break? He didn't use the full break time. He said, no, I'm going to start right away. No, he did not upset. He actually passed expectations at that point. He took him down. I'm like, oh, he took Gane's down, the heavy-ass Gane's. He kept him down. I'm like, okay, Gane's going to get up. He's going to get up. He has good footwork. Tap out. I loved it. I think it was phenomenal. I saw Chael Sonnen, a couple other commentaries on UFC saying that it wasn't his best performance, that it wasn't that great. I say the other way. I think it was actually awesome because he did it in such short time. If it wasn't that great, he wouldn't have won. Maybe if it was like a round 3, later rounds, and he wins, okay. But he won right away, guys. You know, he's the GOAT. We have to stop the doubt. John Jones is the GOAT. What more do you want him to do? You know, Stipe is next, and he's probably going to beat Stipe. Now, to make him the undoubtable GOAT, if Francis Ngannou ever comes back and he faces him, I don't think that's going to happen, though. And I think Francis in the heavyweight division, he'll probably beat John Jones. I'm not going to lie to you. I love Francis. You know, going to be interesting to see, though. What do you guys think? Comment down below about your reactions to John Jones' performance. I loved it. I'm a huge John Jones fan. You know, he's an example of a human. He's not perfect, just like all of us. We're not all perfect. We try to be, we're not. And he's that example right there. You know, I do feel still disappointed in his past, the drug stuff. Like, you know, it's like, bro, like you could do better. You don't need that. But addiction is real, and we all deal with issues and trauma and everything in our own way. Pretty interesting in the post-fight interview how he got asked about Drake's bet, and he said, next question. Is there an issue with Drake and John Jones that I don't know about? I got to look that up. But nonetheless, John Jones, the greatest UFC fighter of all time, in my opinion. UFC 85, that's my reaction to the John Jones, Ciryl Gane's incredible matchup. And for those that enjoyed that bonus clip right there, that is a Patreon exclusive. Please support us on patreon.com/Club Ambition. $3 a month, and you're going to get bonus episodes of our podcast, bonus commentary, and long, extended, interesting conversations that it only will live on Patreon. Welcome to the club, Ambition.